Does size really matter? Do yourself a favor and grab your hand and take a look at the length of your pointer finger and compare it to your ring finger. Which one is longer? So in this video, what I'm going to do is take a look at some basic analysis where we can observe the amount of testosterone exposure that we had in our mother's womb based on observing our length of the ring finger versus the index finger. So for those of you who are brand new to my channel, my name is Lucas, the founder of Ergogenic Health, and my mission is to bring you the most cutting edge health information that you'll struggle to find on Google. So if you do not care about your health, please do not subscribe to this channel. What effect does testosterone have on the length of our ring finger or our index finger? Or in other words, is it possible to observe one's testosterone levels just by taking a look at their ring finger versus their index finger? That's what we're about to find out in this video. So we can see that in this first study, which was titled Digit Ratio 2D to 4D and Muscular Strength in Adolescent Boys. Now, what the researchers wanted to observe or identify was the implications, or I guess the outcome of the ratio between our second digit versus our fourth digit, and comparing the ratio in length between these two fingers. And interestingly, there was a relationship between the digit ratio and muscular strength in these 57 adolescent boys. The 2D to 4D was very likely a moderate negative correlation to hand grip strength, even after adjustment for age and body size. So this is really interesting. This is obviously the first study that looked at the effects of, muscular strength, and I guess the correlation between the digit ratio, which we've just discussed. So take a moment to analyze your own ring finger. Previous research has actually found that this 2D to 4D ratio, which is the ratio of the length of the second digit to that of the fourth digit, reveals the amount of male hormones, mainly testosterone, a person is exposed to in the womb. The more testosterone, the longer the ring finger. So the more testosterone exposure, we would expect to see a longer, greater length of the ring finger. So just do yourself a favor now, maybe you want to have a look at your own hands and see, is your ring finger longer than your pointer finger? Now, this next study was looking at the implications for sports performance. In most men, the ring finger is indeed longer than the finger that we point with, and the ratio between them is known as the 2D to 4D ratio. For instance, if your index finger is 2.9 inches long and your ring finger is 3.1 inches long, you have a ratio of about 0.935. Oddly enough, the ring finger seems to have a higher number of receptors for testosterone, and during early fetal development, the ring finger grows in proportion to the amount of testosterone produced. The more testosterone produced, the lower the eventual 2D to 4D ratio. Studies have shown that men who have a lower ratio are more likely to succeed in a number of sports. The largest of such studies was conducted in 2001 on soccer players. Professional ballers also had on average the lowest ratio, and first team players had lower ratios than reserve players. Another study that was conducted in 2011 showed that British athletes that have lower ratios were mentally tougher, more confident, more optimistic, and more determined to win, which are all telltale signs of having high testosterone. So what does this really mean? To be honest, I was interested in this particular research because, it can give us a little bit of a snapshot. I would not be placing all of our emphasis on simply observing our ring finger to our index finger. What's best is that we actually do comprehensive blood work to observe our testosterone levels here and in the moment. Whereas, this sort of data, it's interesting, but realistically, it doesn't tell us too much about a man's testosterone level. Also worth noting is that a longer ring finger is merely a biomarker of high levels of fetal testosterone exposure, and this early surge of testosterone is instrumental in influencing the growth of not only the brain and heart, but also muscle and bone, which are vital to sports performance. Interestingly, the fourth digit of the right hand is more sensitive to this fetal testosterone exposure than the ring finger of the left hand. So when you do want to observe your exposure when you're younger, you'd want to be using your right hand to observe your testosterone exposure. So looking at your right hand. So I wanted to throw in a bonus tip, no pun intended. Don't forget that if you're a man wanting to boost your testosterone, please don't forget to ice your balls daily. I've spoken about it on my channel before. Please don't forget to incorporate this into your routine. 10 to 15 minutes per day is enough to see a boost in testosterone. I'll leave some links down below for those who want to check that out. So thanks everyone for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.